The dusty Nevada sun was setting low, casting long orange shadows over the two-pump gas station just off Route 93. Inside, the air-conditioned convenience store buzzed with the hum of fluorescent lights and the slow drip of coffee from a stained machine. Behind the counter stood Claire, a woman in her mid-40s with steel-gray eyes and a calm demeanor. She wore her hair in a no-nonsense ponytail and her uniform shirt a little loose to hide the thick muscle underneath. Locals knew her as the quiet clerk who took no crap, but no one knew where she came from. They just knew that trouble never stayed long in her store. That night, trouble arrived on two wheels. For bikers rolled in like a storm, leather, chains, and the unmistakable roar of Harley-Davidsons. They weren't just weekend riders. These guys had the dead-eyed look of men who'd seen prison from the inside. Their leader, a burly brute with a jagged beard and a Confederate flag stitched to his vest, pushed through the glass door and surveyed the store. Claire didn't flinch. "Fill up and grab your snacks," the leader barked, tossing a bottle of whiskey on the counter. "And be nice to the lady, she looks fragile." One of them laughed, a high-pitched cackle. "Think she'll scream if we rough her up a little?" Claire's fingers hovered over the register, but inside, her mind snapped into an old, lethal rhythm. Delta Force mode. Combat analysis. For hostiles, armed with knives, possibly a gun under the vest. Limited cover. One exit. Time to remind the desert that monsters don't own the night. She smiled. "I'll need to see some ID for that whiskey," she said, voice calm. The leader sneered and leaned in. "What if I just take it, sweetheart?" She moved like lightning. Her right hand came up, not to hit, but to blind. A small flashlight on her keychain blasted 1,000 lumens into his eyes. While he staggered back, stunned, she vaulted the counter like a gymnast, landed a spinning back kick to the second biker's chest, and sent him crashing into the chip rack. Chaos erupted. The third one reached for his waistband. Claire was already on him. She ducked under his arm, twisted it behind his back with expert precision, and used his momentum to slam him headfirst into the freezer door. Glass shattered. He dropped. The last one pulled a knife. Bad move. Claire squared up, feinted left, then launched a front kick so precise it disarmed him mid-swing. Before he could recover, she took him down with a sweeping leg hook and pinned him with a knee to the throat. "Don't move," she said, "or I'll make you." The leader, still half-blinded, fumbled for his phone. "You call for backup," she warned. "I'll be waiting. And I won't go so easy next time." Sirens wailed in the distance. Claire had triggered the silent alarm before the first biker walked in. As the sheriff pulled up, guns drawn, Claire stood in the doorway, arms crossed, for groaning men at her feet. The deputy blinked. "What the hell happened here?" She shrugged. "Just a little cleanup." "Claire," the sheriff muttered. "You're not still. I'm just a gas station clerk," she said, already walking back to the counter. But some habits die hard. 2 hours later, the station was quiet again. The sheriff's deputies had carted off the 4 bruised bikers, each one bound in cuffs, and muttering something about that psycho clerk. The sheriff had given Claire a look, half suspicion, half respect, but didn't press her for details. He knew better. Claire was restocking the fridge when she heard the door chime. It was a man in a suit, way too clean for the desert. Aviator's, government-issued demeanor. He didn't look around. He looked at her, like a heat-seeking missile. Claire's spine straightened by instinct. "Claire Monroe?" he asked, voice as smooth as it was dangerous. "No," she replied without missing a beat. "You've got the wrong gas station clerk." He smiled tight-lipped. "We both know that's not true. Delta Force, Unit 391, codename Valkyrie. You're very good at disappearing, but you just made a lot of noise tonight." Claire didn't respond. She reached slowly for the coffee pot, pouring herself a cup. "Those bikers," he continued, "not just your average scumbags. They're connected to something bigger, something I'm working on." She raised an eyebrow. "And that's my problem. Why?" "Because you just dropped 4 pieces off the board, and the people they answer to, they'll notice. They already have." Claire sipped the coffee. "So what? I should have let them rough me up so your op stayed clean." "No, but you might want to start packing a bag." He leaned in, lowering his voice. "They're coming, Claire, and not just for revenge. They know who you are now, what you used to be." Her jaw clenched. She'd spent 10 years erasing that name. Valkyrie. 10 years turning kill orders into coffee receipts. "How much time do I have?" she asked. 2 days. Maybe less. The man slid a card across the counter. No name, no number. just a burn mark on one side in the shape of a falcon's wing. "If you want to live," he said, walking toward the door, "meet me in Bishop. Sundown. Bring everything you remember how to use." The bell jingled behind him, and Claire was alone again. For a moment, she just stood there. Then, she walked to the back room, pulled up a floorboard, and there, wrapped in oilcloth and dust, was a black duffel bag. Inside, a custom M9 Beretta, 3 mags, a K-bar combat knife, encrypted burner phone, and a dog tag that read Valkyrie, "Do not mourn." She looked out at the fading sunset, her eyes colder now. Guess retirement's over. Claire had always been good at leaving. No sentimental goodbyes, no lingering looks in rearview mirrors. But this time, something felt different. Maybe it was because she'd actually liked the quiet life. The late-night truckers who tipped in crumpled bills, the old jukebox humming country tunes, the way the desert stars looked when no one was chasing you. She'd carved out a slice of peace, small, but hers. But peace had an expiration date. She threw the duffel bag in the trunk of her black '96 Crown Vic, still running like a beast, and hit the road, heading west on Highway 6 toward Bishop, California. Wind tearing past the windows, night falling fast, and with it, that old familiar thrill. Her phone buzzed. Unmarked number. She let it ring. Then headlights appeared behind her. Bright. Aggressive. Too fast. She squinted in the rearview. Black SUV. Tinted windows. Gaining speed. Claire didn't panic, she calculated. She downshifted, veered slightly to the center line, testing them. The SUV matched her move. Close now. Tailgating. Provoking. Then it happened. The SUV bumped her. Once. Twice. She jerked the wheel and hit the gas. But they were faster. The SUV surged forward, pulled alongside her, and the passenger window rolled down. The muzzle of an SMG poked out. Claire yanked the steering wheel hard right. Tires screamed. She slammed the brakes, and the SUV overshot her, gunfire spraying into the night. Dust and sparks erupted off the asphalt. She floored it and made a sharp cut down a dirt service road, a path only someone who'd studied maps like battlefields would know. The SUV tried to follow but hit a patch of loose gravel and spun out, crashing sideways into a shallow ditch. Claire didn't stop. 15 minutes later, she reached a secluded pull-off beneath an overhang of rocky hills. She killed the engine. Darkness closed in around her. Silence. Just her pulse and the ticking of the cooling engine. She grabbed the duffel, opened the back seat, and started prepping. Shoulder holster strapped on, knife sheathed at her side, burner phone powered up. Then the phone rang. Not buzzed. Rang. She frowned. Only one person had that number. She answered. Talk. A familiar voice replied, gravelly, with a slight southern drawl. You always were hard to kill, Valkyrie. Claire's blood went cold. She knew that voice. Had nightmares with it. Reed. Her old team leader. Presumed dead in Aleppo. Burned in the system. Buried in her past. Didn't expect to hear from you, she said coolly. You'll be hearing more. Those bikers? Just scouts. Someone's putting the whole puzzle back together. And guess what? You're the final piece. Claire's hand gripped the phone tighter. I should have finished you when I had the chance. Reed laughed. Maybe. But now I've got a head start. And orders to bring you in alive, mostly. The line went dead. Claire stared into the black desert horizon. She wasn't just being hunted. She was being recruited or eliminated. She zipped up the duffel, slung it over her shoulder, and whispered into the night. Let them come.